Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining me for another video. Today we talk No Man's Sky multiplayer. So we'll jump into three subjects. Firstly, what we know so far about multiplayer in No Man's Sky. We'll speculate what Sean means by adding a more traditional multiplayer. And we'll also talk about maybe having some fun with some possibilities and speculation of what that might look like and dream about the perfect No Man's Sky multiplayer. So let's get started. What we know about multiplayer so far is really that there isn't much to begin with. They've taken a deliberate hard line on the idea that they want this experience to be pure exploration and the feeling of being alone in space. So the benefit that you get from that is if you finally run into somebody, it's a magical and a wonderful experience that you have with this person. Maybe co-oping with them or sharing your interactions with them until suddenly they die or they disappear into the darkness. So I can see that's pretty cool. So really, if you are traveling, he has said that you have a basically sort of a passive multiplayer lobby traveling with you at all times that can accommodate up to however many ships. It's a small number. So anybody that's planning on trying to have a massive meetup on Bellari 5, God knows nobody would want to do that. It just isn't going to happen. So a maximum of just a few players is really all that you'll need and really all that the game can seemingly handle when it comes to the experience of running into somebody else. So that's what we know about multiplayer so far. So they really want that experience to be not only discovering planets and discovering other items and mysteries, but discovering players. And you won't even know that they're actual players. The cool thing about it, though, is that your PlayStation Network friends will show up somewhere on the galaxy. So if you're in the galaxy map, you would be able to see them pop up somewhere, as that's where they're located. The problem with that is it's maybe you're here and maybe they're over there. So that's a very, 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 very long distance to travel. So they're gonna make it deliberately difficult for that thing to happen, and they've taken, again, a very hard stance on how that works. So about a little more than a year ago, Sean Murray was interviewed by GameSpot. He was talking about wanting, or really actually having, a traditional multiplayer already in the plans, and he really wants the game to succeed so that he can be able to make that dream come true. So let's think about what that might look like, and I'm gonna speculate what that could mean as far as traditional multiplayer goes. So I think really we need to separate the word multiplayer and sort of categorize it as cooperative multiplayer and adversarial multiplayer. They all fit under the multiplayer umbrella, but I really suspect that he maybe plans on adding both, maybe just one or the other. Traditional is kind of a broad brush painting the meaning of multiplayer. So, I mean, you have games that are co-op all the time. You have games that are focused literally on the adversarial aspect of it, and some games have both. So it's really hard to say what he plans on doing. We know a lot of folks, when you look at places like Reddit or NeoGAF or Twitter, they're always talking about the idea of meeting up with friends and exploring with friends. And that seems to be the most commonly requested item. So if I had to lean a direction, if we were to decide one or the other and not both, it would probably be a cooperative type multiplayer. So that's just my speculation on where they might be going with that, but let's just get unrealistic. Well, maybe not even unrealistic, but let's just sort of float our minds for a moment and let's talk about what an adversarial multiplayer might look like. Now, I know Destiny is really a popular game and there's a lot of folks that play it quite regularly, but I remember hearing about some disappointment when it came to what players understood Destiny to be. And I believe that might be the problem with Destiny, is that people had a lot of assumptions of what that game might be, and really when it came out, it ended up being more of a sort of a neutered Halo without a campaign mode. So people kind of had their expectations through the roof as being able to travel to other planets and have a MMO type understanding and playability to it, and it really just ended up being adversarial and cooperative multiplayer built in within the specific map area that you're in. So I remember hearing a lot of disappointment on that. The other big thing is maybe let's take that idea, and if I were to dream of an adversarial multiplayer in No Man's Sky, I would really like it to take advantage of all of the benefits that No Man's Sky currently utilizes. Procedural generation, wars between factions, interesting locations, and things like that. So let's just say if we were to take a smaller scale game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, and you throw in things like objectives, like domination, points A, B, and C, but you spread them out through procedurally generated planets, and add maybe 24, 32, 64 numbers of players to play within those maps. That would sound really exciting. And have everything just sort of be a living thing. There's no beginning or end to these matches. If you look at something like PlanetSide 2, for instance, there's sort of always a perpetual war happening that you can just drop in and out at any time, and it doesn't really feel like there's much of an end to it, which is nice because you can just jump in, play as much as you want, get the satisfaction of knowing that you've helped your faction sort of win and conquer this area or this planet or this region of a planet. So I really think that would be really cool and really exciting. So let me know what you think in the comments. Feel free to subscribe if you like the content here on the channel. Happy to have you aboard, and see you next time.